Hi everyone, welcome to the Bourbon Obsessed Bourbon and Distillery News Podcast, your commercial-free, and therefore money-free, bourbon podcast for Monday, August 11th. I am Ed from BourbonObsessed.com, also known on Instagram as Bourbon_Obsessed. I publish bi-weekly newsletters featuring the latest bourbon news and releases, and also do this podcast version for your listening pleasure. I am once again joined by my friend and bourbon aficionado, Dean Langdon, and he's joining me here again today. Dean, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Ed. It's glad to be back for the second week in a row now. So I'm trying to get a streak going here.
Awesome.
And see how long we can make it last. I did have a friend suggest that if I and Karen and you are on the podcast together, it would be very interesting. And so you can pass that along to Karen and see what she says.
We'd need a bigger table.
I'm sure we can figure that out. So we'll have to rent out a professional studio, but we can get it done. So.
That could be a special episode here and there. I think
okay. Yeah.
She has more than satisfied with only filling in for when you're not here.
I just wanted to give her props. You know, she does a great job when she's on the show. So
she does do a great job, but I do not think she wants to be on a regular basis. But
understand,
we can see.
Yeah.
So,
we can tell her she's got a fan. Okay, so
have you? Actually, I do get. I mean, she gets a lot of good comments, but I don't think she doesn't want to be on the time. We'll see. Maybe she will.
Okay, it can be a rare special event kind of thing, right? You know, I mean, some others do roundtables. I think we could do, we could do things like that every once in a while. It's got to be once in a while to be special. So
yeah, we'd have to turn the table sideways. Probably the only way to do it.
All these logistic issues, folks. Man, you don't understand how difficult it is.
It is. These basement studios.
They are, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
So have you done anything interesting this week?
This week was actually a lot of fun.
Things.
Yeah, we were able to go together to a lovely dinner at a local restaurant called Sage Rabbit, where they pair dishes and cocktails. A very creative chef, very creative bartender. I usually drink my bourbon either with an ice cube or neat, but I love the cocktails they make there. They're just so unique. The food's always lovely.
They did a phenomenal job. The food was fantastic, but the cocktails, I'm the same way. I mean, I have one cocktail that's usually plenty for me, and I don't like my cocktails to be too sweet, and pretty much everything they made there was not overly sweet and went perfectly well with the
I agree.
With the food. Yeah.
Even the dessert cocktail was some basil blackberry sorbet with Knob Creek 9, and that was an amazing.
That was delicious.
As the sorbet melted, it just infused the bourbon. It was a little piece of magic, folks.
It was, and that would be simple to do.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, although they probably made that sorbet in house,
yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
Well, you have your sorbet machine.
No.
I wouldn't even know where to start. But
if I'm lucky, the coffee machine goes on in the morning when I want it to, when I press the right buttons.
Well.
That sounds like my coffee machine now, Ed.
Yeah. Good cue. We'll let it go off.
There you go. All right. So, is this news or new releases week?
It is news.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's usually one that squeezes in as a release because it's got something news related attached to it.
What about, we were at that dinner together. Did you do something else this week that was fun and bourbon related?
Yes.
What was that?
So we went to the Whiskey and Food Festival put on by the Southern Whiskey Society in Franklin, Tennessee. And it was actually, I can't remember the exact full name of it, something about Southern Food and Whiskey Experience, I think might have been its actual full name. But it's been going on for a number of years, and it was a great festival. It had, I think, 40 distilleries at it, and then it had 10 restaurants that made food that was paired with a specific distillery's whiskeys.
Okay.
And the food, I still am not sure where the bison theme came from, but I think all but one dish was bison related, and they did all different variations on it, and all the food was fantastic.
That's an interesting meat match there, though.
Yeah.
I don't think of Tennessee as being growing bison, or raising bison, but maybe they got it from out of state.
Well, unfortunately, I hate to say we didn't. The bison people did have a booth there, but by the time I tried to make it to all the whiskey booths and the other food. I never got to talk to the bison people.
You got to maintain your priorities. I would be disappointed
but I
if
am
you would have missed a bourbon booth for the bison booth, right? That would not be right. So.
No, but and then, we could have ordered and had a half a bison delivered by FedEx probably. But regardless, the bison was fantastic, and the restaurants did a phenomenal job, and it was a really good festival. I actually will probably go again next year if we can swing it.
That sounds good. Yeah.
All right, you ready to
let's
dive in?
Dive on in.
All righty. So Wenzel Whiskey has opened a new distillery in Covington, Kentucky, in the historic Biltz Insurance Building, constructed in 1916 and purchased by them in 2022 for $1.2 million. Wenzel, which was founded in 2022, began as a blending house offering public and private blending sessions and has since released award-winning small batch products. The 10,000 square foot building was renovated to include distilling operations, a gift shop, bar, and event space. Production capacity has increased with equipment purchased from the closed Ghost Coast Distillery in Savannah, Georgia, including a 500-gallon Vendome pot still and cooker. Wenzel is part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail and Northern Kentucky's Beeline.
That's a neat... it's neat how they are sort of resurrecting equipment from another distillery. I think we'll see more of that because there's going to be sort of a glut of unused equipment. So great time if you've got the capital capacity to expand or upgrade or whatever. I was doing a little bit of digging. This building used to be a Packard auto dealership, and I know many of our listeners may not know what a Packard automobile is because they haven't made any for decades now. But it was, back in the heyday of automobiles, it was a very well-respected brand. And the other tidbit I found about Wenzel is that I know one of the owners. There's apparently four main principals. Todd McMurtry is one of them. He's an attorney in Northern Kentucky. He's the current president of the Kentucky Bar Association.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. They serve one-year terms, and it's his time. So I thought that was interesting. And so that anytime there's an attorney involved, I feel like I've got to, I feel better about any distillery.
Is he who you went to the Indianapolis 500
No,
with?
different attorney. He's the... So there's an elected officer and there's sort of a hired, officer.
For the bar. So, why would I think a group of lawyers would have some sort of a complicated structure to it?
Why would they do that, right? No, you got to have somebody to run the organization and somebody to run the lawyers. I mean, the organization polices lawyers throughout the state, and the non-elected person oversees that and continuing education and stuff. The elected president sort of is the face of it, amongst the lawyers and publicizes and goes to different events around the state and stuff like that. So it's an honor to be either one of them.
Yeah.
So I will never be either one of them.
How do you know that?
Because I don't want to be.
You're not really a lawyer? Just play one on a podcast?
Right. There you go. Yeah. Don't tell my clients.
But have you tried any of the Wenzel? So I think that award-winning part came from, they just won a top award. Was it in Fred Minnick's? It was in
that would make sense. I don't remember specifically, but I know they did win an award, and I haven't really.
I'm sure they've won more than one, but but they won like a really big one, and just recently.
Yeah,
I think it could have been in his. And the awards that Wenzel recently won were for its sherry finished bourbon, and that was at the World Whiskeys Awards put on by Whiskey Magazine. They also won the Best Kentucky Finished Bourbon. I hadn't heard of them. Well, I guess they've only been around since 2022, but even so, I hadn't heard of them until last year when they were at the KBF, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Right.
Did you try their whiskey?
I did not. I may have tried it at KBF last year, but I tried so many that I don't have a clear memory of it. I've read about them in various publications, and it's interesting what they're doing. So. If they've been able to get into it at a lower, capital expense, that's a good thing right now.
I think they may have gotten some of the whiskey from this distillery as well.
I couldn't tell from the article.
I couldn't tell from the article, but I listened to them on a podcast maybe a month or two ago, and I thought they pretty much bought everything. I could be wrong, but
that would make sense because I mean they're having to buy from somebody, right? They're until now, I guess they're an NDP, so they've been working with other folks and blending other folks' bourbon, as I understand it. That's been their model. So.
Yeah, I mean they'll obviously have to do that for a while because bourbon.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
So
good for them. Keep it up, guys. The more, just more things to go do in Covington.
We need to get up there.
Great place.
Yeah. We'll take you were just there.
I was just there yesterday. We got to do a wonderful New Riff distillery tour, both the distillery and the West Campus, the rick houses and the bottling line. And so you can easily spend a weekend up there between the restaurants, the distilleries, things on the Beeline tour up there. So yeah, it's a fun time to go up there and just spend the night. Some of the friends on this tour were going to spend the night, and for some reason they were going to go to the zoo the next day. I don't get that, but whatever. Cincinnati Zoo's great too. So.
Well, doing anything outside these days, that'd be a fall or spring activity for me personally.
I agree.
But I do it. I enjoy zoos.
Yep.
All right, so our next story is probably the biggest story that's been in the news for this week, and it's changing all the time because it's just developing. So this is probably slightly dated, but Dean will bring us up to date. So what I had written was Uncle Nearest and Nearest Green Distillery are facing a $100 million lawsuit filed by primary lender Farm Credit Mid-America on July 28, 2025 in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Tennessee. The lender alleges default on multiple loans totaling over $108 million, including claims of inaccurate barrel inventory reports, covenant breaches, and undisclosed asset transfers. Uncle Nearest filed a response on August 3rd denying the allegations and citing alleged misconduct by a former CFO. The company argues a receiver should not be appointed and says it made $9 million in repayments in 2024 and $7.5 million in 2025. This news was reported by multiple outlets, but who I used for this was the Spirits Business. And then as of Thursday, August 7th, the case for placing Nearest Green Distillery in receivership was heard in federal court in Chattanooga, with the ruling still pending, right? And
as far as we know, it's pending. That's right.
And the plaintiff also asked the judge to limit what can be said about the case in a quasi-gag order, noting co-founder Fawn Weaver had taken to social media. And that's from the Tullahoma, Tennessee News. And now Dean can bring us up to date.
And so I can... they're public records, right? So there's no secrets behind this. It's just going online and reading it and trying to figure out what the legalese means. So they did have a hearing Thursday. In advance of that, the parties filed something called joint stipulations, and basically that's just, hey, we all agree this stuff is true. And that simplifies things instead of fighting over, it limits what you're going to fight over, right? And this hearing is going to be testimony from somebody from the bank, and I assume someone from the distillery over who did what they did, what that means, those kinds of things. So on Friday, the court entered an agreed order, which means the bank and Uncle Nearest agreed to these terms. It's what I would call status quo. So they've agreed that they won't do anything to harm the assets, to interfere with the assets, or to sell the assets until the judge issues a ruling. Don't have any sense when that's going to be. Although it also says, it made it very clear, they can continue to operate in the ordinary course of business. So, except for barrel sales. So they can continue apparently bottling and selling to retail, the visitor center or whatever, they keep that going. But then there was also a gag order, if you will, that's my words, not the judge's, that say the parties will not discuss this case in social media, basically, or any media. So trying to, I think, tone it down a little bit. I have worked on cases like this before, nothing quite this big, but that tells me the parties are talking to each other and trying to work together to come up with something they can both live with. I expect the judge is going to have to rule on this, and whether they appoint a receiver or not, we'll see. We call that an extraordinary remedy. It's pretty important if you're going to take control of somebody's business from them, and that's what a receiver does.
We just had a little technical issue because the camera responds to hand signals, and I think it read you and turned towards you, so I just
as it
put it back. But sorry, continue.
That was basically it. So yeah, good timing on the camera. So that's where it stands. We'll keep on checking. I'm sure it'll be in the media when the judge issues an order about what that says, and it'll go from there. But
it's interesting to see what's going to happen. This one's a little different than some of the other just outright bankruptcy type.
Well, right.
Well, they're not. This isn't a bank.
It's not a bankruptcy.
No.
I mean, so this is similar, like compared to Garrett County, it just closed up, right?
Yeah.
And they just handed it over essentially to the receiver and the bank. This is closer. Well, in Luca Mariano,
that is a receiver.
It did not. They were asking for one, and they filed a bankruptcy to prevent the receiver from being appointed. So those are the basic ways this stuff gets handled. You either throw in the towel, you go into bankruptcy, which keeps the bank, sort of holds the bank at bay and keeps you in control, or if there's a receiver, that sort of puts the bank, not really the bank, but the receiver in control. And not to take anything away from receivers, they pay more attention to the bank than to the company as a rule.
Yeah, that's their main role, right? To preserve assets, at least.
Exactly, right. And they're supposed to preserve assets for both the bank and the company, though. I mean, they really aren't. They might be being paid by the bank, but they actually report to the court and the judge.
Right.
So it's a little different.
But it's not usually the company that wants them.
That's exactly right.
So
yeah. Sometimes you'll get a company that will agree to it. But,
they may agree to it, but the company's never going to say, hey.
The company's not going to ask for it first. Exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. I don't know how quickly things will move along. I assume the receivership part will move along, and then the rest of it will.
Right. Even though once a receiver's appointed, it may not move quickly. So, they have to get in there and figure out what to do, and that usually takes them a while. So,
yeah, well, there's a lot involved here.
And there's even more lawsuits in the news this week, right?
Our next story. Was that a lead-in?
That was a lead-in, man. Come on.
That's right, Dean. Sazerac Company the parent of Buffalo Trace Distillery, filed a lawsuit on July 16, the day before my birthday, and that fantastic trip to Will.
Fantastic tour, yeah.
In the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Kentucky against unknown defendants accused of impersonating master distiller Harlan Wheatley on social media to sell counterfeit bourbon. The complaint alleges the defendants operated Facebook accounts using Wheatley's image, later changed to that of Louisville-based attorney Brian Hara, who's sipping corn on social media and has authored books and does a lot of legal work for the bourbon industry, and promoted unauthorized sales of bourbon bearing Sazerac trademarks. Sazerac claims the defendants are selling counterfeit, stolen, or otherwise unauthorized whiskey and have taken steps to avoid detection. The company is seeking a court order to remove the accounts and is pursuing compensatory and punitive damages. And this was from the Lexington Courier Journal. According to the Lexington Herald leader and Larry Chaffin, who runs a private Facebook group called Bourbon Scammers, the perpetrators are likely based in Cameroon, which I thought was pretty interesting, which is reportedly a major center for online bourbon scams, of all places. And apparently they're also a major place for online puppy scams, and I didn't even know there was such a thing.
We learn something new every day,
we
folks,
do.
And we hope to bring that knowledge to you all. To me, the highlight of the story is Brian Hara, who has written several books. One of them is called Bourbon Justice, about legal proceedings throughout the world of bourbon in historical context. He's gotten important enough so somebody's scamming him now. That's sort of the ultimate compliment. You've made it in social media if somebody's using you to sell counterfeit bourbon, right?
But I guess, the thing that just, I don't know, these scams always just amaze me because it's not likely that the master distiller of Buffalo Trace is going to go on Facebook selling allocated bourbons.
Right.
Have they ever done that before? Has any master distiller? So, honestly.
Right.
how do these things even take off? I just don't get it.
And they're doing this right into the headwinds of a declining market, right? And so, plus the shipping costs from Cameroon must be extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the tip off.
Right.
If you have to meet somebody like halfway, but obviously they didn't say they were in Cameroon. We were jesting about that part. But,
we are, yeah.
But yeah, the Cameroon is pretty interesting. I mean, this says that they're selling, counterfeit and unauthorized products. I mean, I would assume they're selling no products.
Exactly. Yeah, they're selling the concept of a product,
right?
And you're not going to get anything for your money. And it's just, interesting to try and I mean, who do you sue? I mean, they've named like John Doe's, which means they don't know who these people are. I'm assuming they have named the social media platforms because that's who the court would have to direct to take the accounts down. So I assume they have named Meta and that's Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, interesting problem for an attorney. It's like, okay, how do I stop that?
Well, stop it. But this getting damages and stuff, I mean, that's obviously never going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and reading more about this Cameroon, because I found that pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, apparently it's got, like the big rooms and not call centers, if you will, where they have, or at least a spread out network of people in the country that are all working for these companies to do these scams. And, I mean, they do stuff as quickly as people can take it down. So, they're very difficult to beat. But obviously the best thing is do not
buy bourbon online.
Well, I mean, unless you really know. Well, not that that's legal, so you don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, I think you can. Like, you can go online to Total Wine or Liquor Barn, and they'll deliver
real authorized stores.
But I saw one of the things in this. I guess the Herald Leader article was there was a fake Liquor Barn Facebook account.
Right, that one. That people were ordering from.
Don't go through social media to get your bourbon, folks. I mean, there's other easier ways that, just you can call on your phone, Total Wine, and they will deliver.
Use the app, because that's not going to go anywhere incorrect.
Right. And, not yet. Yeah, until somebody figures out how to hack that.
And then the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
It is, yeah. You're not going to get Pappy for $25. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Well, you're not going to probably get it for $1,000 either if it's like the 23. I mean,
Right, yeah. You get it, it's 100 mLs, right?
So yeah, it'll be interesting to. I've never seen you probably have a John Doe type lawsuit.
Yeah. No, it's not that uncommon, but it's very difficult to get relief against John Doe because we haven't found John Doe.
So don't name your kids John Doe.
Right.
Folks. All right. Our next story. So this is one of those ones that crosses over release and news, but it's news because it's charity related and it's an event. J. Mattingly 1845 Distillery will release a limited edition bourbon, Frankfurt Rising, on August 14 to aid Franklin County residents impacted by April's historic floods, which seem like ages ago now, but they're really not that.
It was just back in April.
Yeah. The 5-year-old 112 proof bourbon is finished with oak staves using the distillery's trademark double staving process. It's priced at $120 per 750 milliliter bottle, and $30 from each sale will be donated to the Franklin County Community Fund, and their fundraising goal is $10,000. The release will be celebrated with an event at the distillery from 4 to 6 p.m. on August 14th, featuring complimentary snacks and tastings for guests who are 21 and older.
I think that's a great effort to help support their local community. And to your point that, wow, wasn't that a long time ago? Well, it's only been 4 months, and I'm sure there's still recovery going on. And people forget about natural disasters, the immediacy of it. Our 24/7 news cycle is like, oh, yeah, there were floods back in April.
Well, that's because they're replaced by fires and mass shootings. I mean, it just never stops, which is extremely sad these days, that what happens.
Right.
But yes, it's out of sight, out of mind, and these people still need help.
That's right. And so I think this is a great way to do that. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it to the event or not. I don't think I can that evening, but it sounds like that's a great way to kick off something like this, right? Hey, we're we're going to let you have a sample. We're going to have light bites.
Aren't we having a bourbon tasting at your house that night?
I think that's the night after that. This is the 14th, right?
Is that that's Thursday or Friday?
It's Thursday. Yeah, yeah. So
there
goes your excuse.
No, I have 3 bourbon-related things on the 14th.
Okay.
But that day has amazingly filled up. It's going to be super busy.
Yeah. So good for them. I'm sure it'll be tasty. Everybody should go out and get a bottle and help flood relief.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and our next story, Bourbon Spirits Company, a family-owned Louisville-based spirits company, has acquired Copper & King's American Brandy Company from Constellation Brands. The acquisition keeps production at Copper & King's Louisville Distillery, a destination on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, with plans to expand national distribution and enhance the visitor experience while preserving the brand's creative identity. Founder Rob Borden emphasized the goal of honoring Copper & King's legacy while growing its reach. The transition officially closed on August 5th, 2025.
And my first thought when I looked at this story was, you misspelled bourbon. But you didn't.
I know.
It's actually Borden, and it's a family name. And they really, the website is mostly focused on selling wine, which is all fine. I mean, brandy's an interesting middle ground between distilled spirits and wine, and so I think this is another neat way to. Here's a big brand divesting of a unit, and it's going to get more local. And that's a great way to keep things local and grow a business if you're a smaller business person.
Well, I believe Constellation has been divesting itself of a number of things. I mean, a lot of these companies which we're going to get to towards the end here, are going back to their roots, and they're getting rid of a lot of the things they've invested in fairly recently and going back to what their core businesses were. And I believe Constellation's core businesses were wine, right?
I think that's right, although I'm not that familiar with them. But.
I mean, they have a lot of things now, but I think that's what they started as. So, yeah, it's interesting. And Copper & King's does make a bourbon. It's that apple brandy, bourbon that's finished in their apple brandy cask, which is actually quite good and sells at a pretty reasonable price.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I see where they're. I think you mentioned they're going to expand nationally with the brand, and so growth opportunities for a local or regional business, and that's great. So
Alrighty. Well, should we talk about what we're sipping
Let's do
on
that.
here?
Yeah, because
have you had a chance to taste it?
I have tasted it. It's got a beautiful nose,
color.
Beautiful color. Yeah, I mean, I really have
that is impressive.
Enjoying this. Yeah. Got decent legs on it.
So we'll tell the folks what we're sipping on here. So you've had the bottle directly in front of you, so you've seen it. But it's called Cajun's Cut, and it's a Louisiana straight bourbon whiskey. It's at cask strength, which is 114.4 proof, and it comes from Distillery, which is spelled sort of the French way, Distillerie, Acadian, which is located in New Iberia, Louisiana, and the age on it is at least 3 years. And yeah, I mean, the color is incredible.
It's very nice. I mean, I assume it ages there. And so maybe that color is coming from going a little bit deeper into the wood because of the heat that's there and things like that.
Well, I was looking to see if it was double oak because I know they had a double oak one, but it doesn't say double oak. It's certainly got a color that would go with it.
It does, and it could pull that off from a taste standpoint.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful wood flavors in here.
Yeah, actually, I'm liking it quite a bit. And we've been letting it breathe for like 15 minutes now, but the bottle is just open, so its flavors are going to continue to develop, especially a bourbon of this degree of body.
Yeah, and it's the proof isn't overwhelming. I'm not getting a burn at all. It's got a great viscosity. Again, first tastes are always interesting because it's going to change over time. But
it's quite good. I mean, it's rich. It's got
it is
some nice
little bit of smoke, a little bit of leather. I mean, it's it would be very good with a cigar, I suspect.
And it definitely does have the oak characteristics that you'd expect from its color. A little bit of tannin, but I mean, it's got plenty of sweetness, so it balances out just fine. Actually, it's really good.
Yeah, yeah. It's and it doesn't have. I mean, I've had others that get increasingly dry at the end. This got a little bit of dryness, but it doesn't.
No, I mean,
it's not astringent. It's just a little dry at the end. So I like that.
Yeah, the rich flavors actually linger on, which you don't. Again, I probably wouldn't have expected from the color. I would have thought that it would have turned drier and a lot more tannic, but it doesn't.
No,
it maintains. Yeah,
and good stuff.
And that bottle was given to me by the distillery, so thank you. And
and you probably can't get it here in Kentucky, but keep looking for it. One day it'll be up here. So,
well, Louisiana's not that far away.
There you go. Yeah.
But I suspect I'll be trying it again because I'm going to that Bruzel Fest in September.
That sounds great.
And I know he's a big fan of the craft.
Yeah.
And local, so I assume these guys will be there. Let's see.
They're got to keep those craft distilleries going, and especially if they're making products like this.
No, you definitely have to. Yeah, I mean that's a whole other topic. But I mean, I really enjoy having, just like I do with beer. I enjoy having the regional distilleries. I like to visit them. I like to, especially if they're doing things with something that's a local touch, either ingredients or just way of doing things are different. Right. I mean, I think that just adds a lot of character, and I really like it. So
I agree.
Definitely think we want to keep supporting the smaller distilleries.
And that's what we're doing, folks.
Well, not really, because we didn't pay for the bottle, but we are supporting it by talking about it.
We're plugging it. There you go. Yeah. National news coverage for Cajun's Cut, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right, moving on. So, Lofted Custom Spirits, who's also in our news quite a bit, but they are, never stand still, whatever the motto is.
Inertia is not good.
And then they had the new motto in 2 weeks ago's podcast. But I'm sorry, but I do not remember what that one is. But it was the same idea.
Right.
So Lofted Custom Spirits has launched a new alternating proprietorship program to help branded partners unlock Craft Beverage Modernization Act (CBMA) tax breaks. Using their own DSP license and Lofted's new processing facility, clients can now save an average of $6 per proof gallon on an up to 100,000 proof gallons annually. CEO Mark Irwin emphasized that the program was built in close coordination with the TTB to ensure full compliance. The offering is available now for existing and new clients. And then just to refresh everybody's memory, Lofted Custom Spirits is part of Lofted Spirits, which is the parent company of Bardstown Bourbon Company and Green River. And the Lofted Custom Spirits part of it is, as the name says, that's what does the contract distilling for other brands.
Right. What a great way to take market share for NDPs, right? I mean, so they're all out there looking for someone to make their juice. If you can offer them a $6 a proof gallon, break on excise taxes, which is what that is, it's hard to turn that down from a profit margin standpoint. So I think this is really interesting. Kudos to whoever at Lofted or Lofted's legal staff figured this out and working with the TTB. I'm curious as to how it truly works, whether they do like a short-term lease, because it looks like the customer gets to use their DSP.
The customer's DSP.
The customer's DSP, right. And so, but normally that DSP would have to do more than just bottle it. They would have to either make it or blend it. And apparently now Lofted's going to do those things.
Right.
But under their DSP. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a joint venture or, the lawyer mind goes, how exactly did you set this up and how complicated is it going to be? So,
well, people have done in the past where you just temporarily sort of hang other company's DSP up for the day, so it's their distillery. Now, this one is much more strictly structured and supposedly done in, not supposedly, it says it's done in compliance with the TTB and working with the TTB. So, it's a version of that, but I think it's a much more developed version of that.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I guess in essence, that distillery owns
basically
the production area.
Yeah,
for the day.
They're going to lease that production area for that day or that week or whatever it is to complete the run kind of thing. And so, it makes me think about storage and it raises all sorts of issues. But I know knowing this company, they've thought through all that, and it's going to be a seamless process for that NDP that's just going to save them some money. So, great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's always a downside to something. So the downside's always going to be, and Bardstown is a very transparent company, but this will indirectly remove some of the transparency from the people that contract with them, because now it's going to say that they distilled, bottled, and produced. So Bardstown Bourbon Company will be named. Well, it's never really been in the picture, but even the DSP number wouldn't be in the picture.
Wouldn't be in the picture
if you did a bottled in bond or something.
Really interesting to have an out-of-state distiller. I wonder if it can cross state lines. Could you bring in Hard Truth, for example, out of Indiana? They don't need to do it, right? But I'm thinking hypothetically. Could you use an out-of-state DSP?
I would think not.
I would think not either, because how could you not call it?
No, because you're still operating
bourbon?
here. You're not going to be licensed.
Right.
You're not licensed in Kentucky.
Right.
So
right.
I doubt it. But
good point.
But anyway, I mean, it would make it a little more difficult, I think, for the consumer to figure out where something was made, and would make distillers that don't produce themselves appear to. I mean, technically they are producing it themselves, but not exactly. So I don't know. You know, as bourbon geeks, we like to know every little detail. So
this could conceal some of that information. Yeah, it could be used to do that. I see what it's a good point. So
because even a bottled and bond, because now you could technically have it's with your DSP all the way through, whereas normally if you can have a bottled and bond that's distilled by somebody else if it follows all the other rules, but you must have the DSP number of the distillery and the DSP number of the bottling company. But if you can do it this way, it would be under your DSP. Right. So, I mean, there's nothing dishonest going on, but I mean, it removes you really now, it's just not as clear.
No, it's not. It's like the ability to buy bottled and bond status. And I don't know, I sort of have enough comfort level with Lofted Spirits and Bardstown Bourbon Company that they're not going to let that get out of hand. But
well, I mean, I doubt it's going to get out of hand. But you know, from those of us that the first thing we do is look at the back of a bottle,
right?
We might get a little less information than we do now. Moving on. So the Kentucky Distillers Association has advanced Jackson Purchase Distillery to Heritage Member status, making it the 17th distilling company to reach the KDA's highest membership tier. Founded in 2021, the Hickman, Kentucky-based distillery recently filled its 100,000th barrel and now ages more than 50,000 barrels per year. Jackson Purchase provides contract distilling services and sells new fill barrels to craft brands and other buyers, contributing to the continued growth of Kentucky's $9 billion spirits industry.
That's a nice recognition for them. That's 100,000 barrels is a lot. And I don't know. I don't think. Do they have their own product?
I think we've had this exact.
No,
as far as I know, do not. I think they just do contract distilling.
Right. So their website said their capacity is 200 barrels a day. So that's great. I hope they continue to have enough business to do the 200 barrels a day and keep everybody employed and keep putting out good juice. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know many people. It's way at the far southwest corner of the state. It's not around the corner.
It's out there by Illinois and Tennessee and Arkansas. So, yeah.
Or Missouri, right?
Yeah, that's right. Right. I took geography a long time ago, folks.
I'll have to insert a map on the
there you go.
On the YouTube version so that there's Dean doesn't confuse the world.
The eighth graders listening to us,
lesson. All right, moving on. So, National Bourbon Week will return to Bardstown, Kentucky, June 14th to 21st, 2026, for its third annual celebration. The week-long event will feature rare pours, distillery-hosted dinners, limited edition releases, educational experiences, and the 23rd annual Bourbon City Street Concert. Organized by Bourbon Capital Alliance in collaboration with Bardstown distilleries, merchants, and hospitality partners, the celebration builds on the success of the 2025 gathering, which included 38 activities, special bottle releases, and raising funds for local causes. And the Bardstown Collection series of I guess they're all bourbons up to this point, are they? Well, regardless. No, they're not. There was a wheat whiskey winner. But anyway, it's supposed to be released again this year. It took this past year off, but it's supposed to come out during that again, which adds a lot of events, really, once you put that back in.
That makes sense, yeah. Well, I know you thoroughly enjoyed this, and now that I know a year in advance when it's going to be, I'll see if I can set aside the time on the calendar and get out there for at least part of it. So it's just great to have a whole week to celebrate America's native spirit. So.
No, there were a lot of really good events, and that little bourbon festival, which was also with local food pairings. The mashup that was the Friday of that week was really fantastic too, with the master distillers from almost all the distilleries were there, and if not, the brand ambassadors that were very well known or other representatives, so knowledgeable people to answer any questions and that you'd really want to talk to, and the food at that was outstanding as well, and just a crazy amount of food.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Bardstown really has it as far as not just distilleries, but the food scene there, and it's a great little town, and they're the perfect place to host this, right? I mean, and helps boost local tourism for another week in the middle of June.
Yeah. So and then we're getting a lot of dates ahead of time this year. So the Kentucky Bourbon Festival has announced that next year's event will take place September 10 through 13, 2026, in Bardstown, Kentucky, the bourbon capital of the world. The 2026 festival will mark the event's 35th anniversary and will once again bring bourbon enthusiasts from around the world to celebrate during National Bourbon Heritage Month. All tickets to the 2025 festival sold out, marking the fourth consecutive sellout since the festival was revamped in 2021. And of course, this year they sold out in like a crazy fast amount of time.
Right.
With 85% of ticketed guests visiting from outside Kentucky, the event continues to serve as an important tourism and economic engine for the entire region. An on-sale date for the 2026 tickets will be announced in the future, and subscribers to KBF's e-newsletter receive advance notice of ticket sales, special events, and other news.
One of the most fun things about KBF is meeting the people from all over the country. At least that's one of the most fun things for me. Obviously, it's great going around and sampling stuff from all the distilleries, and it
maybe you'll actually remember a few of them this year.
a few, I remember a few. There's so many. I've run out of
there are so
I run
many.
out of fingers, Ed. I can't keep
It's very
count,
difficult to
it is.
taste in that. It's plus you're talking the whole time. It's not like you're concentrating on.
It's overwhelming at one level, just because of the quantity and quality of what is there, the people that are there, special events, all the stuff. I mean, it's just an amazing production. So, but it's the out-of-state people, and being able to share some of Kentucky's bourbon lore with them is just a blast. I enjoy that a lot. So
I didn't realize it was 85%. I mean, that's crazy.
That's a lot. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, because I usually see several in-state friends when we're there too, right? So,
well, I mean, the more time you spend around bourbon, the more people you know. So
there you go. Yeah.
But so we're looking forward to this year's, which is rolling around in less than a month.
Yeah,
what is this? It's
3 or 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
First weekend in September. So
it's crazy.
It's awesome. Yeah.
But all right, and then moving on, Sagamore Spirit will serve as a sponsor and the preferred whiskey provider of the 2025 BMW Championship, taking place August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills, Maryland. The tournament will feature the top 50 players in the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup standings and support the Evans Scholars Foundation. During the tournament, Sagamore Spirit will offer its rye whiskey expressions in key hospitality and concession areas. The signature cocktail, the Sagamore Tea Time, will be served at select venues. Sagamore will also have naming rights to the Caves Club, featuring Sagamore Spirit, a premium skybox overlooking the 16th and 18th greens with branded decor and immersive design elements. Seems like we hear a lot about golf these days. And
I was going to say, I don't know what it is about golf and bourbon, but it seems to be a great pairing. You don't see, as far as I know, there's no bourbon sponsorship of professional football. There was some baseball. That somebody did something for the Dodgers we talked about a while back. That was a special, Maker's Mark did a special bottle for the Dodgers.
Well, that was for the
World Series.
Yeah. And Southern Spirit, no. Sagamore did something for the Ravens. They
Did they?
had like
Okay.
an official bourbon
Yeah.
that I think they sold at the Baltimore Sagamore's in Baltimore at the
Right.
Baltimore
Right, yeah.
at the Ravens games. As I'm pretty sure that's true.
So I went on the events website, not Sagamore's website, and these boxes, these Caves Club, they're already sold out. It comes with like 35 tickets, so it's big space. You know, it's a whole VIP thing, separate restrooms, food and drink, all that good stuff. 2 levels below that, the buy-in was $65,000. So you
Two levels below that.
yeah, you couldn't tell what this was because it was sold out. But and you know, it looks like it's a corporate skybox kind of thing because the corporate ID gets on all the materials and stuff like that. So great for Sagamore Spirit. That's, you know, their name is out there anyway. But great way to get your name out even further amongst you know, folks who enjoy a nice day on the links.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I guess you know we haven't talked to any marketing people. It'd be interesting too, but I mean, clearly they feel that the golf world is a good place for new customers or to, you know, convert customers between brands.
Yep.
And I like that Sagamore is doing this because it's, you know, I'm a firm believer in, you know, you're supporting your own backyard, growing in your own backyard, focusing, and so the fact that they're focusing on something Baltimore,
Right.
I like.
I didn't look into the scholarships, but it apparently raises like millions of dollars for the scholarship fund that they're supporting. This tournament supports a scholarship fund, and so again, another good cause. And Sagamore Spirit is one of those groups that's transparent. You know, they don't hide stuff, and they do a bunch of nice things there. In
I'm a big fan of their pie.
Yep, me too. So. On to financial results.
Yeah, this one's a lot more complicated. So we will just take the bird's eye view. Many of these documents are really big.
You can spend hours on them, but you don't want to.
No. So we'll just run through quickly for 3 of the big spirits companies out there. So in the first half of 2025, Campari Group reported net sales of 1.528 billion euros, up 0.3%, while adjusted net profit declined 8.7% to 215.5 million euros. Wild Turkey and Russell Reserve showed a reduction of 8.1% due to a soft trend for Wild Turkey in its core United States market. So I guess we can just run through these before we talk about them.
I like that idea, yeah.
And I'm showing my skill as a business announcer. For the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025, Diageo saw net sales of $20.245 billion, with operating profit down 27.8% to $4.335 billion. The brand is focused on its high-growth opportunities, which are Don Julio, Guinness, and Johnny Walker, and high sales of Crown Blackberry, which I had no idea was such a huge seller. MGP Ingredients in quarter 2 of 2025 posted net sales of $145.5 million, which was down 24%, and net income of $14.4 million, which was down 55%. Their Distilling Solutions segment sales declined precipitously, with sales decreasing by 46%. However, for their Branded Spirits segment, they saw an increase in their Premium Plus portfolio, led by Penelope. On the other end of the spectrum, their mid and value tier sales declined by 15%. So that's a little dry, but I mean the gist of it is that profits are down.
Sales and profits are dropping somewhat precipitously in the spirits world. What it doesn't say there, but what I think is very important is none of these companies is losing money.
No.
There's a reduction in profits, but they're still making a profit. And so there are other industries where you'll see retail is a great example, right? People have losses of millions and millions of dollars. These companies are still profitable. They're just not making as much money.
Well, Diageo made 4.335 billion
euros, right?
Dollars.
Yeah. Right.
That's
a lot of money. I would have a hard time spending all that, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. So, I pulled MGPs in full disclosure. I own some MGP stock, but They also do, their advertising and promotion expenses for MGP decreased 41% to $7 million. So MGP somewhat expected this and adjusted projections and so forth. So on their conference call, they said, this is in line with what we expected. It's not good, but it's in line with what they expected. So MGP also has something called ingredient solutions. They make ag products for things separate and apart from that. And,
and different protein type things and
exactly.
all sorts of
It returned to positive growth. Sales increased 5%, but that's like $35 million. That's a drop in the bucket compared to spirits and somebody like Diageo. MGP is really a pretty small producer in the worldwide spirits industry, even though we talk a lot about them.
Well, and these numbers are the one problem with these numbers is everybody reported differently. So MGP's numbers were significantly lower because they're just reporting for the quarter, whereas Diageo reported for the year. Although that number is still huge, it would have still been over $1 billion for the quarter. And Campari reported for the half year. So I don't know why they're all different, but that obviously makes the side by side comparison a bit difficult.
That's right.
But and I guess So it sort of goes back to what we were saying. So they have all these companies have some big name brands that are doing well. Some of them more premium things, like for Lux Road, the Penelope, MGP, the Penelope is doing well. The Wild Turkey declining, that seems a little weird because it's not priced particularly high.
Well, I think that's where the market's taken the biggest hit. It's going to be on the middle and bottom shelf products, if you will. Premium products seem to be holding up.
Yeah.
The changes in our economy are affecting middle and lower class people more than upper class people. And that's my quarter economic analysis, 25-cent economic analysis. I am not qualified to do that, but that's my sense, is that economic indicators are things like car payments are falling behind, credit card payments are falling behind. The people at the top end of the income levels aren't having those issues. It's the everyday Joes like us, So
and that sort of goes with some of this, except for the Crown Blackberry, because I don't think that's. Where does that fall? I have no idea what its price is, but it shouldn't be more than 101.
We're going to have to taste the Crown Blackberry side by side with the Jack Daniel's Blackberry you just got in and see how those compare.
Well, and that's a new release for Jack Daniel's, and I was wondering about it until I read this news and saw that Crown Blackberry was such a high seller, and then it's like, okay.
There you go. Yeah,
I understand completely why there's no Jack Daniel's.
Can't trademark Blackberry. We're just going to glom onto this. There you go.
Well, you can trademark Blackberry, and it is trademarked.
Is it really? Wow.
Well, the old phone.
The old phone. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But so you can't use it as a standalone word.
Right.
I assume. Anyway, that seems unrelated.
But that's what this podcast is, folks. Sometimes we go on a tangent, and that's why you love us. So.
All right. Well, that about does it for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed this edition of the Bourbon Obsessed Bourbon and Distillery News Podcast, your commercial-free and therefore money-free bourbon podcast. Please be sure to join us next Monday for our new Bourbon Releases News podcast. We'll have some exciting new releases to discuss. Also, be sure to like and follow us at your preferred podcast provider so that you don't miss an episode. And don't forget to tell all your friends, too. You can also head over to bourbonobsessed.com to check out some of our over 350 bourbon reviews and over 50 distillery write-ups. While you are there, you can also sign up to have my newsletters delivered directly to your inbox. Finally, I can also be found on Instagram at Bourbon_Obsessed and on Facebook at Bourbon Obsessed, and would love for you to follow me there as well. Dean, where can they find you?
Folks, find me on Instagram. That's my only social media platform. It's Dean of Bourbon with underscores. You can see some posts from the tour at New Riff Distillery yesterday. We got to see Ken Lewis and Brian Sprance, the master distiller, and so I think I had 3 new followers last week. I'm aiming for 6 this week.
All right.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Dean. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
See you next time.